Let's see if
order. The City of Twin Oaks Board of Aldermen meeting for January the 7th, 2026. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll, please.
Alderman Eisenhower.
here.
Alderman Cruzen.
Here.
Alderman Crawford.
Here.
Alderman Stokel.
Here.
Mayor Fortune.
Here. Okay, we have an agenda for tonight's meeting that has been posted. If there are no changes to the agenda, take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda is approved. Any citizen comments at this time?
No one
Nothing?
online.
Okay.
Pass. What's a citizen?
We have a consent agenda. Regular meeting minutes from December the 3rd. Bills list November 29th to December 29th. Bills list December 30th to January the 2nd. Credit card statement for November and a credit card statement for December. Any questions or comments on any of those items? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Police report, Officer Weiner.
All right, for December, we have 22 radio calls, 166 self-initiated, generated 6 reports, 5 traffic stops. We had 4 auto crashes, mainly on parking lots, 1 destruction of property at the church. I logged 2.7 hours on the bike for a total of 170.9 hours for the year. Any questions on that? All right, and then moving over to the year in review, everything is trending. I wouldn't say trending down, but a lot of them are staying about the same. You'll notice on police reports there was a typo. Instead of 1,504, it should be 105. Other than that, crime's trending down, which is a good thing. I believe it's the lowest in the last few years. Auto crashes are staying about the same, a little lower than last year. Yeah, crime reported down, lowest since 2019. So that's a good thing.
Is there less crime or more during the holidays?
Typically, crime does increase during the holiday season. It's mainly retail theft, but with the increased patrols that I've been doing, had the other officers doing, since we do have new businesses that are a big draw, we've been spending a lot of time in, especially Walgreens, Schnucks, and then that other complex. Further questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Dennis, we already asked for citizen comments. Do you have any?
Well, I have an issue, but I don't know if it could be later.
Okay. All right, old business none, new business none, discussion items. Administrative structure, this topic came out of one of the closed sessions that we had about how Twin Oaks should structure itself. And done a little research. If you go back to chapter 79 of the Missouri statutes, kind of defines what kind of a structure that we had when we became a fourth-class city. We're mayor, board of aldermen structure, whereas the board has most of the power, the mayor has none. In that, in voting for different things, the mayor is only allowed to vote in the case of a tie. And it goes on to talk about how cities are typically managed from an administrative point of view to a city clerk's point of view. And it talks about in the lack of an administrator, so to speak, to supervise everything on a day-to-day basis, it becomes a responsibility of the mayor, which I'm not sure I was prepared for that much of a full-time job. Means that I would be responsible to supervise all the employees and know everything that was going on from a day-to-day basis. So I think my guess is that in the past, what we did was we assigned administrative supervision to a lower level within the organization. And I gave you a copy. We went back and looked at kind of the history of Twin Oaks. It's kind of interesting. We've had everything from city clerk and treasurer job descriptions to deputy clerk to village secretary to administrator clerk as a village, clerk controller. So we've kind of been all over the place, but it seems like since about 2005, we were pretty much focusing in on an administrative position, administrator clerk, and an assistant clerk as a structure. So once Frank left in 2020, we had to get away from that because of the situation where we had a board member taking the position as a city employee and not being in a supervisory position during that first year. That was a requirement. And so what I was doing at the last meeting was basically wanting to restore what has been our form of structure that we've had in the past. And I've also provided for you, I think what I had recommended was a city administrator position and a city clerk position. And what I have provided for you are job descriptions for both of those positions. And I felt that the employees that were being recommended for those positions were fully qualified to handle these job descriptions. And the last thing that I have to say is Paul has supplied a copy of the Municipal League came out with a forms of government for Missouri municipalities, which we can copy for all of you if you'd like to have that.
That'd be good, thank you.
It's actually, that's just an excerpt, so those are copies for everyone. It's just the part about the city administrator.
Oh, okay.
If you take the paperclip off,
Okay.
hand everybody. I didn't copy the whole book.
Oh, and they're stapled.
Yes.
It's past that. Past that. Thank you. One for you. One for you. So with that, I will open this to the floor for discussion.
When did Frank leave?
2020.
2021. No, 24.
February 24. He was hired in 2020.
So you can kind of see that the history kind of follows the path where an employee is hired into a position. And then after I would say a probationary period or whatever you want to call it, 1 year or 6 year time period, they would be promoted to the city administrative clerk position. It's kind of the way that I follow it.
And that's the reason for so many changes?
Yeah.
It's just hirings and promotions.
Well, there was Frank, Kathy Runge, Kathy
Y'all.
Y'all, and I think Sharon. There were periods in here where we didn't really have a senior person, and so those jobs were kind of being filled by whoever president of the board was or chairman of the board and the city clerk at the time. For example, between Frank leaving and April starting, kind of the way we were operating then.
All right, so I asked when we had the meeting, and I'll ask it again, because what we have in here, it looks like, is only the city administrator form of government. Am I incorrect in that I don't have the other form of government in here?
You mean just the mayor board?
Right.
Right.
Okay. It makes it kind of hard to compare. I will just say that. That was my question the other night. I still don't feel like I understand if that's what we're trying to do. But since I have a forms of government in front of me that would be changing the form of government, I'm wondering if somebody can answer that question. Are we looking to change the form of government? That would make us city council, not board of aldermen.
No.
So then this form of government isn't important to what we're discussing, attorney?
Well, I mean, I'm not the policymaker, so that's up to you. But all I'm saying is no. I mean, in Chapter 77 in 1969. So anyway, city administrator form of government has been around in Missouri for since like the 50s. Apparently, according to the municipal league, the city of Centralia had what they called a city administrator, and then it kind of came to a head in 1969 or 67. It looks like when the city of Washington, which was a third-class city, tried to go and get the voters to change their form of government to a city council manager form of government. The voters said no, so they said, okay, well then we're just going to hire a person and call them a city administrator and then give them certain powers. And then that got challenged. It went to court. The Missouri Supreme Court said, well, you can have such a thing as a city administrator, but you can't give them powers that usurp the powers of the mayor in the form of government that you have. And the mayor and the council still have to have their duties, and you can't delegate those duties to somebody else. And so after that lawsuit, so the court said, yeah, some of the things that you delegated, you can't, other things are fine. The stuff where the city administrator was advising the council and putting together documents and giving them information, that was all fine. But hiring and firing of employees, et cetera, nope, that's only the city council and the mayor. So then in 69, the General Assembly passed in Missouri for the first time this thing called the city administrator form of government. This one did not require a vote of the people. It can just be done by ordinance. It was put in Chapter 77, which deals with third-class cities, but it says a third-class city or a fourth-class city can adopt it by ordinance if they want to. You'll still be a mayor and a board of aldermen. That doesn't change. It just gives you the ability to hire a city administrator that can then be what the statute calls the chief administrative assistant to the mayor, responsible for the general superintending control of the administration and management of the city government, officers, and employees. And in that statute, it says you can also give them the power to, make hiring decisions and firing decisions, but you can also not do that. And that's up to the city government to decide how to do that. So that's basically what that form of government is. There's some, as it was talked about in that thing I handed out, some cities had what they call city supervisors or city superintendents. They had all kinds of different little names for these people. And there was nothing wrong with that because Chapter 79 says that the mayor can appoint such appointive officers as the council by or the board by ordinance allows to be appointed. But the main difference is that if you give any person powers that are reserved for the city board of aldermen or the mayor, then that can't be done unless it follows a statute such as the city administrator statute that was created. So ultimately, it just created a way to have this person that could have powers that are just beneath the mayor and to be able to kind of take care of business on a day-to-day basis. The cities themselves set their own ordinances and their own job descriptions as to how much they want to let the city administrator do. That's up to each and every city. It just creates the legal authority to do it so that it's not challengeable like happened in 1967 in Washington. And now it's like, well, no, you can do it, and here's how you do it. So then it would be up to you. If you wanted to go that way, you could either do it like you did when you first became a fourth-class city, where you adopted the city administrator form of government at that time, but then changed it and changed it back and then changed it back. So, it's which is okay. You can change it every year if you wanted to. It's up to you. So, any other questions about that? Did I leave something out?
Okay, I gotta say, I'm very confused now. Are we not changing the form of government? It sounds like we are changing portions of it to fit our situation. Is that?
I mean, that's what you would have to do to have a quote unquote city administrator form of government. Whether you had somebody that was called an administrator or something, and you gave them certain powers that weren't a problem, as far as taking away powers from the mayor. Yeah, some cities do that. They, like I said, they call them city supervisors or managers or superintendents or whatever. And do they go all the way to passing it under 77.042? I don't think so. But as the court said in 1967, it doesn't really matter what you call them. What matters is what authority are you trying to delegate to them, and where's your authority to do that?
So are we talking about present persons and job titles?
I'm not.
Or are we talking about adding
Okay,
person?
in this request, I wasn't asking for a change in form of government. Basically, what I was asking for is to operate the way that we operate on a day-to-day basis. In other words, I don't supervise what goes on in that park every day. I don't supervise what goes on up here every day. We have somebody sitting in this office that does that. I have basically given the authority to do that. And I think we have given them the authority to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to be up here every day supervising this operation. And what I'm trying to do is to bring the organization into with job descriptions describing basically what our employees are responsible to do and what the board agrees are responsible to do. I'm not saying we give them additional authority beyond what we're uncomfortable with.
I guess my question is, can we not give that authority to a person called the city clerk? I mean, my problem, of course, and comes from my background, is the use of a word that has a specific meaning in the state of Missouri. I don't have any problem with allowing whoever is sitting in the chair of city clerk or manager or whatever you want to term it. But when you go to saying the word city administrator, that has a connotation in the state of Missouri that is specific. And it's not like somebody can look under the hood and say, oh, but they're not that here, because here's their job description. So my problem is with the title if all we're doing is changing a title. Because I guess I don't know what I don't know, which is what is it that we would be saying the person in that position, because I don't want to be saying, April does or whatever, would be doing that they aren't already doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out can a person titled city clerk not do those things? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And what I'm saying is if you go by the job descriptions that you see for city clerk,
What is our current job description for city clerk? Do we have that?
yeah, we do. Of course we do.
I'm just saying, I'd like to know what the differences are between the two. All I'm trying to do is figure out, because to me, she is handling the day-to-day. The person in that chair
Exactly.
would always be handling the day-to-day. That's always been true. Obviously, we've had times where that wasn't true, or we're between people, or when we don't have trust in that person, which we all know has happened over the years. But I don't think we're in that situation now. So I'm not understanding. I did understand when we did it with the prior person. I understood that we were doing it as a title because of his desire to step forward to some other places. I also know that I don't.
And I take offense to that, actually, because if that's the reason we did it for the wrong reason. We shouldn't give somebody a title just because 2 years from now they want to move somewhere else and we're giving them that title. So it shows good on their resume. We shouldn't be doing that.
I'm just saying what we actually did.
And I certainly didn't do it for that reason.
I don't believe that is actually true. I think we actually had open conversations about that being the reason that we were doing it. So I disagree with you.
I don't recall that.
We all were very clear about the fact that this was in title only. We had the same discussion then. And we said, because we don't feel like we're big enough to need that. And we said that this was something that looked good for him and could get him into some meetings that he wasn't already a part of. I'm not making that up. I didn't come up with that myself. Those were set in meetings where we were all sitting together making those decisions. So I don't have a problem to change a title because that works better for us. All I'm trying to do is see what are the differences and what is this person not allowed to do in their day-to-day operations that requires those changes. Just for clarity's sake, not because I'm against anything. This is the first time I'm seeing this, so I can't be against anything in it at this point, right? So I'm not saying that I have any problem with doing it. I didn't have any problem doing it when it was for the reason that we did it then. I didn't. Because I understood, and we all understood, that we were getting someone who wanted to use this as a ladder. And I remember us saying at the time, that is sometimes what we are. I don't think that we're in that position now because I know that that's not something.
I don't think that's something we should assume, first of all.
We can't assume it, but April has said out loud to us in public meetings that that's not her desire to move on to higher management in government, that she enjoys and wants to just be doing this here, but would like to do it for a long time.
Well, I don't agree for that reason either.
Agree what?
That we not make a decision because we know she doesn't want to go somewhere.
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not saying that either. I'm
No.
saying my problem is with the title, right? I would like to lay out what is it that we currently say you have the power to do. What is it that we would be saying we have the power
So
to do?
you have a problem
those
going
two
all the
things.
way back to 1999 with the administrator titles?
Generally speaking, when we called them administrator clerk, they were clerks and they were given that title of administrator because it looks better. I mean, an administrator clerk is a city clerk.
Do you have a problem with administrator clerk?
I don't have a problem with even us making this choice. I just like to see what is it we're doing from what we currently have to what we would be doing here, be able to lay the two and say, yes, those extra responsibilities, I'm going to guess, and I said this before, I'm going to guess that I would believe, like I'm reading through and I only got through 3/4 of the first page. I would assume she already has all these powers. I could be wrong. That's what I'm telling you.
But in her absence, her duties would fall on the mayor. her supervisory duties would fall
Yeah.
on you.
Which would be true in her absence
Yeah.
anyway, no matter what her title is.
So are we trying to not have that happen?
There has been, and this is not the only reason, there has been at least 3 cases recently where April has been dealing with either contractors, attorneys, residents that have basically repeated, well, you're only a clerk. I don't need to talk to you. And that's just a fact that's out there. So then naturally, then it has to come to me. Which I don't mind, but that's not fair either. I mean, April,
I agree with
in
that.
those particular instances,
Has full
April
power
was
to
dealing
choose.
with day-to-day situations.
Right.
And so they just threw out, well, I don't need to talk to you because you're just a clerk anyway. I need to talk to somebody important.
So April should
So-
have the right.
City clerk sounds more important than city administrator to me, by the way.
Either way, April should have the right to say, no, I'm the appropriate.
Right.
decision-
And I would
I'm the
hope that if,
appropriate decision maker here.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I think she
can
did.
answer this
I'm
question.
sure she did.
Yeah.
But I would also hope that then, certain of those peoples, I can guess, like, go, no, but I want to speak to the mayor. I'm gonna guess that still happens, even
It
no
does.
matter what your title is. But then when you get to the mayor part, right, like when they get to you or whoever's sitting in that chair, the response should be, you need to deal with her. There should be no conversation. And that's my mind.
Yeah.
Right? Because it does usurp.
Well,
the power for you
actually,
to-
by the time they get to the mayor has to say, well, I'm going to have to confer with the board on that.
Right, exactly. You can always do that, but you can also,
Because I
push it
have a
back to
boss
her.
too.
She's she's the person in charge. This is the person we have making those decisions. Because that's what gives her more power than any title we might give to, her or anyone else for that matter.
Do we have, if we hire somebody, do we have to post it? Are we required?
Yeah.
So if we create this position that doesn't currently exist, do we have to post it?
No.
You don't
No, I don't
have, you don't
think so.
have,
No.
you don't actually have
I
any
don't think so.
hiring requirements as far as posting or not posting, hiring within or not
We
hiring.
do whatever we want?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
I like it.
And-
Okay.
It may
Yeah, no,
be,
that doesn't
it
open
may
up
be
any
a
doors.
difference, it may be a difference in the different venues that we've all worked in.
I'm sure that is.
I know, not having worked in the municipal field all my life, I've always been used to people in a supervisory role, administrative role, supervising people. That's what you called them. It was administration. And maybe that's not true in municipalities, I don't know, but it seems like every city I know has an administrator. And they're supervising
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say that by his list here, there's what, 100 and how many? 135, I saw a number. And there's more than 350 in the state of Missouri, so that means more than half don't have that.
Yeah, I don't know how old, I've pulled that off their website.
Right, even if you said it was 50-50, right? Like, there's no way that you couldn't get to that number pretty easily. My point is that it is a thing that happens, but I also think that quite a few of those places, certainly Centralia that's true of, Arnold is true of, Bowen is true of. I could probably go through this list, Blue Springs for sure. They are a city administrator form of government. The city administrator holds power that the mayor and board do not hold. It's a different form of government. That's what I'm literally trying to sort of understand. It seems like we aren't looking to do that. So then this comparison over here is kind of irrelevant. But for all of the ones I know have city administrators, more than half the ones in Missouri don't.
But you're comfortable with administrative clerk.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with saying city management or managing supervisor or city supervisor, or any title that doesn't pull from the statutes. This one sits in the statutes and has powers in the statutes specific to the name. That's what bothers me about it. Now, that comes, of course, from my history of what I'm used to. I have not worked in corporate America. I don't think ever. But I've worked in government for, 27 years. So that's where my hang up is in the exact opposite place of where yours is. So, I'm not saying yours is wrong. I just don't come at it from that angle.
So if I make a recommendation for a city administrator clerk, board would be okay with that? And we do a job description to that?
Yeah, can we see can we just do a job description that is, let's see the old with a markup to the new for both positions? I think that's the easiest way for us to understand what changes we're actually looking to make. Because I think I might not be, maybe I am the only one who's looking at this and going, yeah, of course, yeah, yes, I already thought she was doing all those things. And maybe we'll see that it is, but it just takes off of you some belief of what you have to do, in the day-to-day supervision. I'm not sure, like where that hang up is. Because I feel like I would want, in a situation where someone comes to you and says, I don't have to talk to you, then come to a board meeting, because the only people that are my boss are the board.
Okay,
Right?
this was probably my error, because I'm looking at this history again, and it seems like it has always been administrative clerk. I was under the impression that there were administrators in here.
We did have at least one. I mean, I remember that
I
we
thought
changed-
Kelly was an administrator.
I think you may be correct about that one, actually. That might be the one. Only because I remember that we changed the form of government. I only remember that because we had to do a sub to the code, and you have to do all these changes, and it's a huge pain in the booty. And then we decided when we changed it back that we were going to change it once, and we were never going to change it again. Not unless we changed the actual form of government. So then we just kept adding, and then we just changed the definition one time to say city clerk means city clerk administrator, or whatever it was that we titled it. Which you're right, I think we sort of, sometimes it was clerk / administrator, sometimes it was administrator / clerk. But I think all of those things were not changing anything. But when Pat Kelly was here, and I do think you're right about him being the one, I think we changed our form of government. He did have more powers as a result. And
Was that a village then? Because village doesn't have the power to.
As a matter of fact,
You can't do that.
I've run
was
across,
he right after?
No,
run across
he was
Pat
before.
Kelly,
He was before 2005.
Pat Kelly as the first
2008.
mayor of Twin Oaks.
But I know we changed the form of government.
Yeah, you
Right,
did that.
and
you were
You did that when you became a
Fourth-class
ability
city.
to do that as a fourth class city. Then
Then we did.
in 2016, with one of the millions of
Somebody.
ordinances you passed, the fourth one after you changed was to become, according under 77042 to 48, you became a city administrator form of government. But you had a city administrator / city clerk at that time.
As a matter of fact, I don't know if you heard me.
Oh, sorry, no.
I came across several references to Pat Kelly as mayor of Twin Oaks
Oh, geez.
in the past. He was our first mayor. I don't know if you knew that. My intention in my recommendations wasn't to change the form of government, wasn't to change the way that we operate, but it was basically to recognize the work, the good work over the past couple of years that has been done by these two individuals. And I wanted to reward them with something that was closer to what they were really doing on a day-to-day basis.
So the clerk portion of it does diminish from the administrator title, right? A little
It
bit.
does, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I
in the
think
state of
that-
Missouri, the city clerk is the holder of all information for a city. Like, that is the person who is legally charged with holding all records. in the state of Missouri, even if there is a city administrator, unless they have so divulged it separately in their ordinances. So, no, in the state of Missouri, the city clerk is the person who is holding all of that information. Like, we're not so big that it makes sense to me to have two, like, I like administrator and assistant, but I don't care, like, for my purposes, if that's something that gets more authority in the like contractor world and the places where I'm not familiar, I don't have any problem with that, right? Administrator clerk and deputy clerk or city clerk, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
Or,
what we would have would be administrator, clerk, and assistant clerk.
Because to me, like, all of the other titles that you can do, which I'm not a fan of because of the way I see them, is like, the managing supervisor to the mayor or whatever. Like, to me, those are all subordinate. Like, they put the mayor's power like right there in the title.
I saw
like,
assistant to the mayor.
Yeah, and I'm like, and to
I've
be
seen those
honest,
titles.
in those cities, those people hold a ton of power.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
I mean,
doesn't
the city
look great,
administrator can't.
Yeah.
There's the city administrator, even under that form of government, still is the chief administrative assistant to the mayor. They did not change the statute to give this person more power than the mayor. It's concurrent with the mayor, and they are still subordinate to the mayor.
Right, but it's not their title. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like those ones where you're making up a title to have this person look like they're in power, that don't then give them any power in their places, because it to me sound like, things like manager or supervisor. Now I know a city manager is a whole
Deputy
different.
mayor.
Yeah, right. We don't want to be
Is that a
deputy.
thing?
No.
I
mean,
well,
yes, but
if you look at our list here, anything is possible.
yeah, you can make up any names you'd like, but yeah.
But I think what I'm hearing is you're comfortable with administrator clerk and assistant clerk, but we need to
Yeah, just
do-
work out the.
2 job descriptions.
Yeah.
And that would smooth out this government a little bit, right? Yeah.
You already have a deputy city clerk on the books.
It's
so
operating
Right.
that way
I
now.
don't know if you.
Yeah, I like deputy. I feel like deputy city clerk
Deputy?
as opposed to assistant,
Assistant.
because it again is something that is based in statute and.
Right.
Does the
and
deputy
is-
have to wear a badge?
Yes, a star.
He gets one bullet.
No, yeah, one, only one. And it would give, both of them the ability, but certainly it would give you the ability to take some of the classes and things like that for city clerks, the sort of letters that they MRCC or the CMCs or the whatevers, because you'd be in those positions that allow for that sort of government learning
I think,
titles.
yeah, along that line, I think during the last year, April's been working with Paul, and Paul has been taking some of those classes and
Yeah.
intends to take them in the future.
And I think some cities only send, like their deputy city clerk is the one who goes to like the luncheons and things like that. But that's a great resource.
Yeah.
For other things that might, then work their way up. Like if we're looking for whatever it is, drones, I'm going to pick out of a hat, like, is anybody else having trouble with this? Because then she'll have that sort of thing. And I know that you've been, especially this last year, and it's not going to get better. Because we're gonna have the big state highway fund thing, you're a little busy to be going out to lunches.
Yep.
In that more socialized kind of way. But you could, she could be doing that in a way that keeps us sort of intact. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that was said in what you were saying, and I was like, oh, I'd love to see that.
As a matter of fact, Paul is going to fill in at one of our LAMO meetings coming up to accompany me.
Great.
So
Yeah, those introductions and those
they
things.
have
helps all of us.
been active in reaching out and expanding their capabilities, and I think we're operating very well right now. And
I agree with that.
I would just like to recognize them for what they're doing. We will, at the next board meeting, we will have 2 job descriptions ready for review, and hopefully we will review those and approve those.
Okay. And can we take them old to new? Would that be
Can we
too
what?
difficult? Can we use like whatever we're using now? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure some of the things that are sitting on hers are gonna go down to here.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know, because I don't actually even know what they look like. And they wouldn't be anywhere that I could like look at them or something. Could we only put that
I don't
in the
know. I don't know if the
contract
board has ever really reviewed job descriptions.
language? Not in a
past.
long, long time.
They're usually
So,
attached when we approve a new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And we
Yeah.
read
Got
all
the job
those top to bottom.
Yeah.
Well, they're there.
Right?
Well, they'll be there at the next board meeting.
Yeah.
He
And
said,
that- it would just
he
be
said
helpful.
didn't see, he didn't say read.
Right.
Can we get them?
We do see them.
Okay, yeah, we'll send them out ahead.
And this is the same one that you guys got in October as well. These 2 are the ones that
Right, yeah.
you had in October.
Yeah, I was traveling on that one, so I didn't actually spend a whole lot of time reading it, but yes, I do remember getting something then. But for my purposes, it would be helpful if we went from what we currently are saying, because I don't think a lot of us remember. I think that I make assumptions about what's in those duties or job descriptions or whatever that maybe aren't there or maybe are assigned to other people, and it'd be helpful for me to know, like, oh, we're taking this and, we're moving it here and we're giving this duty up here, more the,
Until it's actually.
I would assume contractor or, interactions, things that you're,
So
in
they
my
just need
mind,
to be in general.
doing. That we're
That you're gonna
more- giving you more
bring back
power.
next month, and then we'll get a motion to put it on the next agenda.
So what happens, we hopefully are in general agreement here on what we're going to do moving forward. We're going to give you the 2 new job descriptions, and once we basically agree and approve on those, then we'll prepare an ordinance to make it official for the following meeting.
sounds good.
Okay.
Can you match the style of the 2?
What do you mean?
Here, you got position title, city administrator,
Oh.
supervisor, mayor, and it goes through all these different, and here it just jumps
Mhm.
right into.
Yeah.
I just like the style to be the same.
Mhm.
I think we should have a standard style for every job description.
Mhm.
Okay. Right, attorney's report.
No reports tonight.
City clerk report.
Okay.
City clerk report.
Yeah. We did get, election certification has come and gone. Well, not certified till the end of the month, but, we have 3 candidates who have filed for the April election for 2 open seats. So, I will be taking the certification up to the Board of Elections at the end of this month. So that will be on the, coming up. Park and community room reservations opened this week. So we had some big changes, as you know, that took into effect this year. We've already had several calls. It's running smoothly so far. We have not gotten the website up and running where we're doing it online yet. So Paul is still using the same format that we did last year, but I think we've got some positive feedback for sure to the lack of needing a deposit and refund and all that business. So that's good.
Do we have an ETA on the website?
We were hoping to get it done by January 5th, but that has not happened. So I am awaiting some questions from the website company to see what else we have outstanding for them to get done. So I'm hoping very soon. I'm starting on audit prep, so that already starts in January for this year, kind of compiling the letters and everything. And then one interesting note that we got last week was a notice of non-renewal from our insurance provider. So we are going to be going out. Our broker, Bill Wittenberg, that we've been with for a while, is going to be going out and looking at some other options with us. So we have until April to make a decision. So apparently we've had too many claims. 3 is too many. So
One.
yeah, 1 is too many probably.
Yeah.
But
We're far from the only ones who got dropped this year.
yeah, so
Tell you that.
we'll see what happens after that. So and then project updates. I've been in touch with Boss about continuing the second phase of the lighting. So the covers have arrived that they are going to change out on the poles as soon as they get an ETA on that. I will let you know. I have not heard yet about the status of the Wi-Fi head. So were told in November of last year to go ahead and get it ordered, get it ready so that we could get that up and running as soon as possible. So hopefully I'll get an update on that very soon. And then the RFQ for engineering services for the TAC grant will be posted to the MoDOT website on January 21st. And it will be posted for about 4 or 5 weeks before the letters are due. And then that will be in front of the board for you guys to make a final decision, the first meeting in April. So that is for engineering services for that project. So I'm working with MoDOT guys to get that all lined out, and that'll be coming down the pike soon. So, and then BFA finished the topography on the park access, the park grant that we're doing, the sidewalk on the park access. So they are starting to work on final plans for that. So still anticipating hopefully starting construction mid-year this year. So
Does MoDOT have approved engineering firms or?
they do. We have to select from MoDOT's pre-qualified contractor list.
Do they have any other restrictions or guidelines or?
A lot,
you know?
many
But I mean,
pages.
that affect us.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot, many pages and pages and pages.
A lot
So
of requirements.
a lot of requirements. So we will be working, no doubt, with an engineer who's very familiar with how these, kind of grants work and how MoDOT. So we'll be looking for that in their statement of qualifications, someone who's got experience doing these kind of projects. So
And BFA changing coming up with plans for the park,
Mhm.
final plans, and we get to review that.
Oh, yeah.
Does planning and zoning have to look at that too?
no, I don't believe so. No, we will bring the final plans to the board. You guys have all seen lots of preliminary plans that everybody went through, and, we went through all the options. So now that they're going to be putting, fine point on it to show exactly what it's going to look like when it's done. So I'm sure that there will be revisions, things will come up, that we'll have to make changes. So you guys will probably see those several times before we go out to bid, but hoping to get that out to bid sooner rather than later so that we can get some contractors lined up for this year. Any other questions for me? Okay. That's all I have.
April sent out, I think you sent it out to everybody, the
Yeah.
article
Yes, from the municipal.
that we
Yes.
had trying to make Twin Oaks, it's a small but robust community, I think.
So that-
Uh,
cool though.
Focusing on the walkability of the city, and it was a very nice article.
Yeah.
I think they interviewed you.
They did, yes. Yeah, they called unsolicited, so I'm not sure where they heard about the project necessarily, but yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
The reporter was very nice and very complimentary of our park and all the pictures that she had seen.
We also got a very nice card from one of the residents on Autumn Leaf, thanking us for the lighting in the park and how beautiful the park was.
Oh,
And-
Christmas lighting and stuff? That's nice.
Yeah. So want to thank everybody that's involved with that. It was a great success this year. Maybe we'll build on it next year.
That's the plan.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Tim, any comments?
No, sir.
Jim?
I'm good.
The only thing I was gonna say was I enjoyed all of the lights this Christmas. I'm glad that we do that. I feel like, that we do the little competition.
Yeah.
I call it just like a fun, whatever, because I feel like people put out more stuff, try to be a little inventive. Like I thought it was really cool that like one of the neighbors on Bully that wouldn't normally put stuff out did, and I also thought it was really sweet that we recognized that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm glad we do that. So it makes it fun to drive through the neighborhood and be like, look, oh,
I was thinking that maybe next year we do it a little earlier so we can invite the winners to our dinner.
Oh, okay.
that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
Man, that's a nice meal.
If we could just do it a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And we know who the winners are. We can invite them and recognize them at our
Right.
dinner.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I think it should be a surprise.
Yeah, they don't have to know that, but, and we would just hold open.
Yeah.
However many spaces or whatever, yeah. But I love that idea. I think that's really a nice way to
Yeah.
also get more people to interact with us.
Right.
Or be like the force, but no.
We have 2 tonight. We're at a
know.
record number.
Record pace.
Joe?
Looks like we got some movement on Wings Knob across the street. Is there a date? or
We do
anything?
not have a date. We have
Okay.
reached out again, but have not heard back on a final date. So, but they are getting closer, it looks like, so.
They're interviewing
Oh, that's good.
people.
Okay.
Yeah,
My boys are anxiously awaiting.
yeah. I
They
know a
keep
lot of
asking, I keep
people. A lot of
going,
people are asking about it.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit worried about the parking situation over there, but
Yeah.
it's basically an in and out. So
It is. It is.
okay. Any final citizen comments? Dennis, did you have?
I'd like to thank the board for the very lovely appreciation dinner. It was very, very well done. I have 3 questions. One, with the administrative structure, are we currently in conflict with any state law? Or is it just the description of parties that we already have in place?
We are not in conflict with any state law as far as I know.
We just need to refine the
Yeah.
descriptions.
Yeah, we were not recommending a change in structure of government.
Okay.
No. Things will remain the same.
The candidates for next April,
Yep, we have 3 for 2 open positions.
can you name them?
I'm sure that I can. You'll see them on the ballot, but Tim is running for reelection. Joe is running for reelection, and John Cherigi lives on Golden Oak Court is running for election.
The final question is,
That's 4.
there are a lot of current public announcements and discussions about what is going to take place in the country for our 250th anniversary. I wonder if we're doing anything in Twin Oaks.
We haven't planned anything or we haven't discussed anything.
Maybe we could tie it in with the 3rd of
3rd of
July.
July.
Yeah, that would be
Makes
the
sense.
appropriate time to do it.
Makes sense.
I know a guy who's gung ho on doing reenactors and choirs and bands and fireworks and the whole 9 yards. And I said, thank you very much. He literally wanted to take over the Manchester Community Band concert in June and say, why don't we do all of this? We'll invite the Manchester United Methodist Choir. We'll invite reenactors that I know. We'll plan a fireworks display and you can build your music, your concert program around all of that. And I said, it sounds great. Thank you.
We couldn't get the Manchester Choir in our park.
Exactly my point. You know, it's all got to be scaled to what is possible.
So I just heard we're going to have a reenactment of the Battle of Twin Oaks.
Yes.
It's gonna be people versus chickens.
So I think Manchester actually will have multiple fireworks displays this summer. I think that they are having a June concert, which I believe is on Father's Day. And I'll program, music appropriate for the occasion. But there'll be a delay while we clear the stage and then they'll do a fireworks display at that concert and come back and have a second fireworks display on the 4th of July. So, that's one thought. I don't know if, you want to alter what is going on here on the 3rd.
I think they have to have 2 just to come out equal with Twin Oaks.
That's what it is.
Dennis, the park committee meets tomorrow. I'll make sure that they know and give some thought to what you're talking about.
Good idea.
I see Officer Weiner grimacing back there going, how can we do more? I think a 250th 50th anniversary should require some guest something, you know. I don't exactly have it thought through, but
I wasn't there, so I'm not sure.
Some of you weren't here for the bicentennial, but I can tell you there was a heck of a lot more hoopla than there is about this. I mean, it was constant everywhere.
Yeah. so, yeah, something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Welcome.
You have any ideas?
No, I'd like to.
You'd like to think about it?
Anxiously wait for whatever
Okay.
comes out.
Anxiously await for whatever we decide.
Do we have any Rams money that we can tap into?
Any Rams money? No, I don't think we have Rams money.
Unfortunately, no.
That could be when we have the goats.
Anything else, Dennis? Okay. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Bleach my hair, yeah.